Hello friends, welcome to the Power BI world. In today's video, we will see how to work with slicers into Power BI. So let's get started. So before we start, let's understand what is slicers in Power BI. So a slicer is nothing but an interactive filter on the canvas page of Power BI, which helps us to select the value accordingly. Okay, so this is just a small definition of to understand what slicer is. We will see a practical example how a slicer looks and how we can create slicer into Power BI. Okay, so let's go to the Power BI desktop and see the practical example. So I am into Power BI desktop and you can see there are three visualizations which are already created, and we will be working with these three visualizations to see how a slicer works. Okay, so let's see how we can create a slicer into Power BI. Okay, so if you go to the visualization tab, you see an option which says slicer. If I click on slicer, so it is asking to select or drag fields to populate this value. Okay, so let's say we will take, I have an option which says category. I will just drag this category into the slicer. So if you can see, I have three categories. One is furniture, office supply and technology. So let me increase the font size for you so that it can be seen. Okay, let's take this font size to 15. Okay, so by default when I drag the category into the slicer, by default it gave me the list of categories that are available. Okay, so there are two options. Either you can keep this into a list format, or if you want to keep this in a drop down format, you can do that as well. So for that, what you have to do is go to this option, which if a small drop down you can see here. If you click on it, it gives you two options. One says a list and the other one says as a drop down. So already this is into a list. Let's select on drop down and see what happens. So once I click on drop down, you see there is a drop down list, a drop down arrow which is showing here, and from this drop down you can select any of the segments or category that you want. Okay, so for now let's keep this to list. So now, as I said, slicer is the most powerful type of visualization when we want to make our report dynamic. Okay, so what I mean here is, if I select any of the category, the visualizations on this pane will change according to that categories. Okay, so if I say what was the sales by year by the category furniture, and if you see the numbers would change here. Okay, so let me cancel this. I will just select this particular visual. I will go to the format and I will add the data label so that it will give us the numbers correctly. Let's take this to none. So you can see, let me increase the size. Let's take this, instead of auto, let's take this into 1000. Okay, so now you can see this is what the sales by year looks like in this particular visual. Let me select the category from here and you will see the numbers on this page or on this visuals will change. Not only on this visuals, the numbers on this visuals as well as on this visuals will also change. So this is the benefit of using slicers into Power BI, as this is the most powerful visualization when we want to make the report dynamic. Okay, so let's see. If I select technology, you see the numbers Sales by year, the numbers change here, the numbers also changed here, and the category profit by subcategory also changed. Okay, if I cancel this and select office supplies, you see the numbers changed here, the numbers are changing here as well. So this is how you can work with slicer. Okay, so now if you want to select multiple values into slicer, you can do that as well. Okay, so what you have to do is go to this option which says format and go to the selection control. You see an option which says single select, which says multi select with control, and show option select all option, and this is showing as off. So what you can do is, if you want, you can just unselect this, make this off, and do this on. Okay, so you see you got the option as select all. So now if I want to select two options from this three, I can just go to furniture and I can go to the technology. Now these two options are selected, and the visuals which are showing here are basis these two options that we have selected. Okay, so this is how we can work with slicer. So as I said, it is a really very powerful visualization filter that we can use to make our report dynamic. Okay, so that's all about in this video. Hope you like this video. Please comment below and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.